what someone's got to do now, the new leader, is to bring back the sanity of the centre ground of the Tory party. They've got to try and heal the party. And look, that's going to be very difficult because the Brexiteers are going to dig in, as they have done consistently.
Can Boris Johnson leave with any dignity, having decided to resign?
Well, look, he's not played it in the way that you would have expected. A normal prime minister, quite obviously lost confidence of his colleagues, and the only sensible thing to do with dignity is to understand that and go. But look, frankly, whether he goes with dignity is a matter of total indifference now. This is a watershed in British politics, and there's a sort of sod's law about it, particularly for Keir Starmer, who made that ridiculous speech about Europe in anticipation that he was going to fight Boris Johnson. I coined the phrase that if Boris goes, Brexit goes. And now, of course, as Brexit depended entirely on the duplicity with which Boris conducted the referendum, the whole argument about Britain and Europe is now up for grabs. And Keir Starmer has managed to put himself right on the wrong side of the argument.
Do you really believe that, Michael Heseltine? Because the other argument would be Keir Starmer has reflected reality. He knows that he can't fight and win Labour seats by suggesting Brexit can be reversed. Whoever the Tories pick, it'll be someone who's pro-Brexit because they've stayed in the party, which has become a Brexit party. The next leader of this country will be effectively either a dyed-in-the-wool Brexiteer or someone who's converted to that at some point in the last couple of years. The leader of the opposition is the same thing. The one thing this does show, does it not, the last couple of years, the question of Brexit is dead. The question of the future of the Conservative Party might still be live.
Well, I think you've been a little out of touch. First of all, public opinion polls clearly show that Brexit is a matter of disenchantment. And I think you may have missed what happened in the recent by-elections. The Tories are losing safe seats in the south of England to the Lib Dems. So Brexit is very much now a controversial issue. And if the Tories campaign on the basis of their present stance, then frankly, they're not going to have an easy ride in the next election. What someone's got to do now, the new leader, is to bring back the sanity of the centre ground of the Tory party. They've got to try and heal the party. And look, that's going to be very difficult because the Brexiteers are going to dig in, as they have done consistently. But the Brexiteers without Boris are losers. And the first thing that one's got to try and do is to regain the international respect for this country and the trust of the British people. And you're not going to do that if you're going to go ranting on about the Europeans or the Brussels bureaucracy or the forms. You've got to find a policy of sanity to deal with the economic challenge we face, part of which is Brexit-based.
So in that sense, do you think there is a centrist candidate? And to follow your logic, say that centrist character exists, say it's, I don't know, Jeremy Hunt. Could you see them then campaigning on a sort of return to the single market level of centrism?
Well, I'm not going to take sides at this moment in the leadership campaign. I want to see what happens. We may have one of the existing runners, but the party may decide to skip a generation and look to someone who has not been at the forefront of the present controversy. But there are many ways in which the European situation can be mended. I mean, start with the Northern Ireland Protocol. You could recognize that that is a legally binding situation and that the rule of law is preeminent. That would be a start. You could start having dialogue with the Europeans about a number of issues where ad hoc deals could be done. But the important thing is to stop the terrible sort of bitterness and triviality of the commentary about the Europeans. These are great nations, and they are the same sort of people as we are. And the one thing that one with the scantest regard of history should know is that we spent 1,000 years fighting each other. But now recently, in the last half century, we've learned to bury the hatchet.